All right, everybody. I had one request from a very good friend of mine, Mr. Wade Cooper, on how I'm running my Helix from Line 6 in regards to the Venom Inc. gig. So what I'm doing here is I have this set up for the Jakarta, for the Indonesia gig. I had the pedal board set up where each preset would go through a song title. So I had the set list literally programmed out. So now that I'm a little more comfortable with things, I actually have 3 core presets. I have one dedicated to the early classic records, appropriately titled Mantis. And then the newer records, like Ave Satanis and There's Only Black, I programmed with some specific things that I need, some harmonizers and some special delays and stuff. So what I'm doing here on the Mantis presets is I have my main rhythm sound, which I'm calling Vintage, which is that classic old school thrash metal sound. Then I have a chorus and delay sound, a flanger and delay sound, then a lead bump with just delay and reverb on it. I also have an octave down. This actually has an octave and a fifth that I'm thinking I'm going to use on one of the songs to fatten up the riff. And then I've got a big, huge delay wash, and then a big delay wash that's a little tighter and cleaner than the big delay, but also has chorus. And then I have a fifth harmonizer down as well. These 2 harmonizer things I don't know if I'll actually end up using, but I had the extra space as far as the number of presets. And you know, the original records were very quote unquote basic. You had your big distorted Marshall, your Les Paul, you had a wah pedal maybe, and you had chorus or a flanger, and then probably in the studio some reverb or delay to add some more dimension to the sound. So the way I'm running this rig here for the Mantis sounds is I have a Weeper wah pedal, a Horizon Drive model, a chorus and a flanger, an amp, preamp. This is the Angle, the Meteor or whatever. It's an Angle Fireball model. I've got a Horizon gate. I've got a basic pitch shifter, a 2-pitch pitch shifter that I actually use to split the signal stereo with just a little detune on it, a la Van Halen. There's the harmonizers, the next one, then delay, reverb, and it goes out 1/4 inch, and it goes into 2 power amp, two guitar amps, effects loops returns for the stereo split to give me a nice full sound across the entire stage, also to give me some panning delays and stuff, which is always fun to have, and just to fatten up the stage sound, because Venom Inc. is just a 3-piece. So then you'll see this parallel split here that's going to an IR, and these are my Christian Kohler IRs that I use. I'm using the Chainsaw Bliss, and those are running out to XLR. So if the tube amps are no good, or if I have an issue with a tube amp not having an effects loop, or a tube amp fails, we can still go DI into the PA, which neither myself nor Daniel really want to do, but it will allow us to still have great big thick fat sound and still get all my effects and everything. So then we go to the Bayleth preset, and things are a little bit different. Still got the same wah, same drive, same distortion preamp, the Angle, the same noise gate. Then we get into my chorus splitter, kind of like an Eventide, like what Van Halen used to use. An actual harmonizer. The chorus, instead of in the front of the amp, it's through the effects loop, so it's a little bit cleaner, a little more modern sounding. Then we go into a dynamic delay, and my regular delay, my regular reverb, and then of course we do the 2 splits, so the 1/4 inch out into the tube guitar amps and 4x12 cabinets, and then the IR loaded signal out into the PA if it's needed. And from there I have my, my modern as I drop the little camera. My modern sound, chorus and delay with no noise gate. I call it my rhythm effects. The harmony setting for Metal We Bleed. My lead guitar sound. My harmony setting for War. My big delay, like on the other one. My delay lead, which is still big delay, but it's mixed down. So this is a really super wet, crazy delay. And then I have the duck delay. And this is actually for rhythm guitar playing. So if there's kind of a big punchy section with some pinch harmonics and tight breaks, when I do a tight break, that delay will then turn on and come through the speakers. So it's a very cool little post-effect studio kind of move. Then I go to my third sound, which is for one song and one song only. I don't even know if we're playing it, but Tony had me learn it. It's called The Dance. And a lot of the same culprits are here, except I've got, so my Weeper Wah, I have a compressor, my Horizon Drive, my chorus in the front of the amp. I've got two different amp sounds. I've got an Vox AC30, or I'm sorry, an orange rocker and the standard angle Meteor. Noise gate, core. This is a Univibe modulator. There's my chorus splitter, my Eventide Trip. Harmonizer here, reverb, or delay, reverb, and then obviously the tube power amp guitar rig and the PA rig. And so this way I'm able to switch between my rhythm sound, my clean sound, the harmony breakdown in the middle, and the big lead guitar sound. And then I got a couple other little things here, third and fourth harmonies, big delay, chorus delay. And that's really how I run the rig. And then I've got my Line6 little simple G30 wireless that I use. That didn't work in Jakarta because there was too much radio interference and whatnot. I heard everybody was having trouble with their wireless units there. But this has served me well in Europe and the US and Canada, and I don't see why it's not going to work for me in South America. But that's the live rig. So for anybody who cares.